Car Guy Channel. The Car Guy Channel. My name is Mike Hennessy. This show is all about cars and all four car guys. Get yourself a cold beer. Get yourself a cold beer, guys, because our show is... We are smoking! I'm Mike Hennessy, and you're watching the Car Guy Channel. I have an auto repair shop. I've been in the business for over 30 years. You name it, we got it, we built it, we've done it, we do it. We love this car stuff, and I hope you guys do too. We're gonna have a lot of fun, got a lot of stuff cooking, so just stay tuned. Welcome to the Car Guy Channel. We got a great show this week. I know I say it all the time because I feel we do got a great show. We're gonna take you into what we're doing with that 1956 Chevrolet Bel Air two-door sport top, which is called a hardtop. We're gonna show you where we're at with that car, and we're getting that car really ready for the Mecum auction. We'll talk about that as the show goes on. And of course, we're gonna take you into the pickup truck. We're gonna take you to the 1957 Chevy short bed step side, a building for a good buddy of mine named Dave, and it's coming along great. And I really appreciate you folks sending me in some pictures and stuff. There's some pictures that we're gonna show you on a 1959 early late 60s Triumph that a neighbor had. He was putting the body on the car. And as I were putting the body on the car, there's enough guys involved. And there's Mark, his wife Janelle, his daughter was there, his son was there, Joe, there's a guy named Tim there, another guy, Phil, chimed in. And of course we needed kind of one more guy to help lift this body in the air, roll the chassis underneath. And they said, hey, we know a guy named Bubba. And let's face it, anybody named Bubba is great help to help put this body on the chassis. You'll see a couple of clips of that car going along. Mark's been building this thing for a couple years, actually building it for his daughter's wedding, and it's pretty exciting. Family project, people put it on, and then we did kind of the Viagra lift. And the way it's filmed and the way it's the pictures taken, you figure out why we call it the Viagra lift. Check that thing out. Send me some more of your cars that's out there, what's going on. And the other thing is, sit back, get yourself a cold one, and enjoy the show. This 56 Chevy four-door hardtop, which we should say sports top, is coming along just fantastic. And on the show, we're trying to do a few little different things to keep people more entertained in what we're doing for the cars. And I thought of building this project and showing you really how we're doing it when we go ahead and film pretty much roughly about every week or every couple weeks and get you involved in what we're doing. There's some stuff that for cleanup stuff. It's actually called Calex. Now, it's a very old school item. Not everybody handles it. We actually buy it from Eastwood Products. And Calex, and it's looks like a very small amount, but it's not. It goes an awful long way. It's perfect for cast iron. And you're going to see some clips of Danny cleaning the cast iron on it. It makes it look absolutely brand new. So what it does is an acid base. It takes away the rust quickly, and it just looks fantastic. So we use Calex really quite a bit on some of the cast iron. You can on manifolds. You can do it on all sorts of things that really make a lot of sense and gives it that cast look, kind of that gunmetal gray look. It looks really kind of cool. But on the cleanup stuff, underneath the hood of this car is just about done. From the last episode, we actually painted the air cleaner to go ahead and match the car. Give it kind of that street rod look, and that's really what I'm going for in this car. The valve covers, of course, are painted to match it, and there's a lot of work. Raul took off the power steering pump, and I'm telling you, it's not an easy job sometimes to do the detail, but we really felt the detail is where this car here is all about, and some of the really cool stuff. So painting the air cleaner on the top, we decided to paint the power steering cover. There really wasn't nothing available that was really kind of cool, but I want to show you underneath the hood of this car. I think it looks spectacular, and it's coming along just great. You have no idea how much stainless steel is on these cars till you take it off or when you're putting it back on. The cleanup on stainless. We use a buffer and to go ahead and use three different rouges to go ahead and get the polish, get the shine that we're trying to do. That gets the chrome-like finish is a good term used. And figure just on this fender alone, you got three pieces of stainless. You got an upper, you got a lower, and then you have the spear that's on the very front of the car. And then it goes over the Adobe color, then goes over to the copper color, which is actually called Sierra Gold, and this right here is called Adobe White. And these trims have to get them to match. So when we put the doors on, there's a lot to do in this, guys and gals. There's a lot to it. And it's pretty excited to see it all go together. And this side came out really, really nice with the stainless. We polished everything on top of here for the top of the doors. And there's not a lot of parts available. So a lot of this chrome and all this stainless that's on the car are hand straightened. And not saying we're very good at it. It's very time consuming. So I think anybody can do anything with the right amount of time. And of course, just getting the all the little dings and things that's been out of it. Some of these pieces are available, and then some are not. Now, some of the manufacturers have been trying to retool and make some of it, but the quality of the stainless is nowhere near was like in 1956 when they went ahead and made it. We did order some new stuff. Dan Chuck has been pretty good about getting us what they can. They are remanufacturing a lot of the stuff here, and for the other side of the car, we'll show you in a moment. But these little chrome pieces here, these are actually chrome plated because these are a cast piece. These are a cast metal that goes between the doors. And it just finishes off these hard tops just really nice. And I'll get out of the way here so you can see how nice and straight this looks. And you got the big spear on the back. So you got quite a few pieces of stainless. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got 10 pieces on one side of the car. I'm telling you, this side of the car is a little more on the challenging side because of the stainless. Now, we have a piece that went up here, and it kind of got damaged during shipping, and so we're waiting for this piece here to come in before we can put on the fronts. When you put the stainless on the car, there's a lot to it. You got to start from one point or start from the end point, beginning or the end, because as you straighten it down, go down, make sure it's all straight, you need these to line up, and lining up is what it's really all about. So I thought I would show you this side of the car, really what it looks like, from the Adobe beige to the copper color card, the Sierra Gold. And so to see what's going to have to go when they go in here, and you have a little bit of wiggle room. You have a little bit of wiggle room on the top, and you have a little bit of wiggle room on the bottom. Not much. Don't always worry about going by the line of the paint. The painter just always goes just whatever the center lines of the holes are. That's a starting point for what he needs to do, because figure this trim here is just a little over a half an inch. Not quite 5/8, but roughly about where you're at is right here, and that's the width you got to work with. So that's why we don't have the front piece on, but I think I'm going to show you how we're doing here. Of course, all this stuff is all polished, like I was mentioning earlier. I'm just really excited about the car, the new door handles, the locks, and all this stuff. But just give you an idea what the side of the car looks like. I'm going to go ahead and get a still to get a shot of these wheels. From where the car was stored originally was in a garage in the Alameda area. It was kind of like on an island. And the car sat in the garage for a little too long, longer than I think it should have. But that's a whole nother story. But the wheels themselves kind of got oxidized. They got pitted from some of the salt air. And the spokes of these torque thrust wheels got crappy looking. The caps are plastic, from the American racing. But they needed to be replaced, need to be done. My guy, Danny, took these wheels, and I'm going to show you what he did. So let's go over to the brake lathe and check that out. Now, not everybody at home is going to have access to a brake lathe, or ours is the AMCO brake lathe, but they work great. If there's any other way you can go ahead and spin one, was really kind of neat. I've seen some guys go ahead and just put a jig on the car, actually on the front wheel, so you can use the spindle, and you can spin it by hand, just so you did a nice finish. And what we did is we sanded the outside of this wheel here because it was pitted really pretty bad. We didn't worry too much about the inside yet because we know we're going to go ahead and paint that. So we went ahead and sanded the whole wheel, all the stuff here on the sides. And then we started out with a 180 sandpaper, the 180 dry. Now I said dry because we'll cut a little faster, not smoother, but it'll cut a little faster. The 180. So as the machine's turning around, we put this sandpaper on there and we go ahead and we cut it. Cut it means we kind of sand it until finally all the pits, and it has kind of a nice clean sanded view of it. Then we take the next step, which is the 400. Now this right here is a wet and dry. You can do a little bit of a dry if you want to kind of cut a little quick, but a smoother sand is at the 400. You can still break it down to different, but we did it in 4 different zones here before we went to polishes. So we went to the 400. Dip it in water and sand it, just hold it on there and let the machine go ahead and turn, and we sand it down. Then we went to the 800, which is very, very fine sandpaper, in the water, and it just all of a sudden you'll see the aluminum just looking just beautiful, nice and smooth. Then you go to the ultra fine. This takes a little bit longer. If you do the process like I'm telling you now, if you do this process, it'll take about maybe 20 minutes per wheel to do them, and maybe a little longer depending on how much shine you want to get on it. After you do the sanding process and you get all the way down to the 2000 grit sandpaper, now you're going to go to your liquid polishes. People people have used rubbing compound before. You can use the orange compound, which is a little more aggressive. You use the white, it's kind of a polishing compound. But we go ahead and we actually use this stuff right here. Now, when I hold this can up, and any of you guys are car guys and car gals that been around the world a little bit, I emailed one of my guys, one of my techs, and I said, hey, have anybody seen Neverdull? What the cotton stuff that goes? It's kind of like a cotton material. Ed, sure enough, had a couple cans at the house. This can right here looks like something back in 1940. So he brings the can in. This stuff is like magic. If you can buy it online, I've seen it on Amazon. If you get, it's called Neverdull. It's fantastic. It comes out, it's a cotton material, and it's kind of a sturdy cotton. You'd actually think, if you didn't know any better, you think it's old cotton from a bad mattress, that you found at a homeless camp. But this material, Estelle can get a shot of this. This is what it looks like. It's cotton, and it's formulated with formulas and all sorts of stuff. I have no idea what's in there, but I tell you one thing. If you ever try to use Neverdull on any aluminum product, it's fantastic. After you go with that, then, of course, we went with the Mother's Polish. Mother's Polish really works pretty good. It's very, very popular. People have been using it for many years for aluminum, and it makes the wheel just shine absolutely beautiful. Almost have the chrome look. It's just great, and we're real pleased when you see the rim there on the brake lathe. You get a good idea of really what they look like. So kind of restoring those wheels, that gets kind of the outside of the rim looking really, really sharp. And I think it's a home run because, the rims, they pop. When you take a car to a show, you go somewhere, everybody sees the rims. Wheels, to me, that's the glamour. That's basically... That's the cat's meow. But after we go ahead and paint and do the wheels, we masked them all off and sprayed them with this particular color. Color is a choice of what you wish, whatever you kind of like. We went with this. It's kind of a gray metallic paint. This kind of paint is very, very high quality, a good sprayer. But we go ahead and mask off the polish with blue tape. Now this blue is like a rubberized tape. You can actually do a full circle with this, so it bends really well. I recommend this for the outer edge on the aluminum, and then polish it off with this. Go all the way around it, mask it, shoot it, and then after you shoot it, don't forget this, clear it. If you clear it, it's going to last a long time. After you clear it, this makes everything clean so easy. So if you do wash the car, it doesn't affect the tone tint of the color that you put actually on the rim. Clear coat is a protectant. It's another way of saying the word. This happens to be a matte finish because that's what I wanted. I didn't want these to be glossy, real clear looking. That's not what I was going for on these particular mag wheels. They look spectacular. Check them out on the car. They look great. And a few reasons why we're really pushing this car here along. One of the big reasons are this car right here will be featured at Mecum Auction coming up in August in Monterey. So we're pretty excited about that. We have 3 cars, maybe 4, going to be going to that auction, and we'll be cluing you in and letting you know what's going on. So we're really hoping this car here, what I call breaks the bank, because it's all about the business end of it too, let alone finishing it and whatnot. There is a business side, there's a financial side, and I know guys and gals know, sit down and pencil out what it takes to build these things. It takes a lot of money and a lot of time. So I'm looking forward to the Mecum auction deal. Dana Mecum has been really, really kind, sent the pictures in as we're going along. Featured car on the show. Check out Mecum Auctions when you get a chance. What do you got?
I got a 72 Chevy pickup. I put a lot of work into. I've been doing body work. I've been doing the motor work. It's running pretty good.
And the guy said you got a 64 Chevy?
My best friend's got a 64 Chevy.
That's pretty cool.
I've been working on since probably sophomore year in high school.
Two-door hardtop?
It's a 4-door.
And 4-door. I got some 4-door 57 Chevys in my collection
4-door's
now.
the way to go, really.
4-doors work when you go out. If you trim them out, kind of cool. Hey, one of the shows we did a wagon for a guy. These guys are in kind of like a club. Pontiac station wagon, 4 doors. Because the two-door hardtops, the convertibles, let's face it, they're almost unbuyable. They're getting tough. Well, for the average guy, I mean, that's a lot of dough to start spending and stuff.
It's like the Del Rey.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Or a bubble top. 409 double top, 409 type stuff. Pretty big stuff. Hey, good. I got my orders of parts coming in. Let's make sure to get all you guys in there. We just got to let people know that, you guys aren't, I don't want to say, it sounds terrible, but you guys aren't the goofy parts guys. You know what you're doing. So if a guy calls up for a part, if you don't know exactly what he's talking about, you give him to someone who does, or they give him back to you. So I just kind of want people to know that. Hey, take care, bud. All right, man. Now, we've had this truck in the process for quite a while. It's a 1957 Chevrolet step-side short bed. Most popular Chevrolet truck out there on the market today. 55, 56, 57 are the three biggies. It's almost like the Tri-5 Chevys. These are sought after extremely big time. And my good buddy Dave, it's funny when you have a friend and then you turn out to be a really good friend when you're building it, because we're on communication constantly. We got emails going back and forth. Dave chimes in with some ideas on the truck. I chime in some ideas back. Even on the weekend, if I don't have much going on, I'm 100% car guy. I know that shocks everybody, but I'll be looking something up, send it his direction, get an email back immediately of what his idea and my idea is, picking the color. Now, we're going to show you some stuff. Estelle will pop some stuff in there of us doing the restoration on this as it was going along. We removed the bed on the truck, removed the back fenders, of course the bumper, all the wood in the back of the truck, all that was removed, taken out, obviously to paint it and to actually build this. And Dave started out with the project, and a couple things went wrong. He thought originally, the guy thought it was a 350 in the car. It happened to be a real tired, beat up 305 with a flat cam. So, of course, we both looked at each other and said, we got to put a motor in this. So fortunately, we had a 354 bolt main in my personal archive. We worked out something with Dave. Transmission in the car had some issues. Let's just get it all done now. He just bit his lip and said, let's get this thing going. I'm excited about it. And after it's going, he is excited about this. And the color on this right here is almost like two names. One name of the color is called Pull Me Over Red, and the other name of the color is called Ticket Me Red. Either way, this right here is the brightest red I think out there in the market. It's fantastic. Doing the bed was a lot of work on this, I'll tell you, because it was a truck. It was an actual used pickup truck. I won't say for a farm, but it was a used truck. They've actually used it. And of course, during the years from 1957 to 2001, it's went through a few paint jobs, a few restoration problems that came up as building it and whatnot. So we removed the fenders. You're going to see some pictures of the fenders completely brought down to metal. And the only way to do one of these trucks right is to pull the fender off the bed of the truck. Otherwise, how are you going to get a spray gun inside there? I know we see vehicles have been painted like that. Not much you can do about it. A lot of it has to do with budget. And pulling these off, there is a budget zone that we all have to work with. But fortunately, we talked about the monies. We talked about how to make it right. And the investment value on a 57 Chevy truck is very, very high. You watch the auctions we were talking earlier for like Mecum or Barrett Jackson or some of the big auction companies that are out there. These trucks are pulling 50, 60, 75, 80, $100,000, determining on the type of work you're doing. This right here is a Resto Mod truck with a Chevy 350 and a Chevy 350 automatic transmission. They didn't have an automatic like that back then. So this is all redone to make this so it's current. So it's kind of a Resto Mod. Still has a 57 look. But we pulled the fenders off the car. Ricky went ahead and painted the bed separately off the truck, of course. Painted the fenders separately, of course, off the truck. And a little attention to detail that we did, we put in all the black welting along inside the fenders. And I think that really made a nice touch for this truck here. And doing all this work is just spectacular to see it finished and stuff. And I know we're going to talk about the bed. We're going to get a camera and we're going to show you inside the bed of this truck. I didn't mean to jump the gun. We put these fenders on, talk about the bed, but I'm going to tell you, when we went ahead and put the fenders on, we used these Allen bolts, and these are all stainless steel. Now, by the way, all the bolts inside the bed of this truck are stainless steel. So we use the Allen head with stainless steel washers also to hold the bed on. These can even be polished a little bit more. They'll last a lifetime and always look really nice. And the woodwork, doing the woodwork in these beds, guys and gals, I think is what really makes these trucks. I really do. These were sanded. Dave went ahead and emails back and forth on the work that goes into it. Now, these were the boards that were actually in the truck really when Dave bought it. And so when he pulled all the bed pieces off, he spent hours with a sander, grinder, you kind of name it, to bring these boards down. And then these are not stained. These are clear coated. This is a red oak wood or a cherry wood or whatever. This wood is just beautiful in here, and all we did was clear coat them. Now, we did this right here with an automotive clear. We use this here with one of our personal clears, a Nason clear, and we shot them real quickly so it could soak in, shot it again, sanded them, shot it one other time, because the automotive clear dries quicker. Now, Varathane works. I have my other truck I'm doing a Varathane. We decided to do this in automotive clear, and it's really hard. It's a very, very hard finish, and it's great great for UV lighting. So we put these in. It makes it really, really nice. And the other thing is, Dave wanted these bed strips the same color as the truck. Now, a lot of people would go with the stainless steel strips, which is a good look. It's neither one of them wrong. All of them are just what I call an opinion, and we all have an opinion. And the way this here goes, these look nice after seeing them inside the truck with the red all the way around, the stainless steel bolts, the beautiful wood. This looks spectacular, and I just love the wood look inside here. It looks great. When you remove the bed on it to go ahead and do the paint work, obviously you're going to be painting the back of the cab. Now, that's not very challenging. You can go ahead and sand it down. It came out really pretty clean. But all the glass has to be pulled out of this truck. And that's where the details come in. That's where the time comes into. And cleaning this back glass, Danny and Raul got it really nice and clean. Ed got us all new rubber for it. And inside here, this is a lock. This is actually a lock bead. It looks like there's 3 pieces to it. You got 1, 2, 3. When the glass goes in, this is not on here. This center piece is a lock, and it's like a triangle-shaped piece of rubber. And this goes right inside here and locks the rubber into position, so the back window is sealed tight. The back window looks great. All the new rubber around for the gas cap area looks really good. And of course, getting the doors on the car. Attention to detail is all these stainless steel Phillips head screws that are actually tapered to the slotted in. And the doors were a challenge. These doors were very challenging. The hinges were just not that good in 1957. Let's just face it, they were terrible. And that was kind of some of the big downfalls, almost all of them. So we had to come up with brand new hinges for these doors, and then to do the metalwork, because they were patched. They were, let's use a word we don't use in the show too often. They were Mickey Mouse. Let's just face it. They were Mickey Mouse. And Dave and I both knew it. We wanted to take Mickey out of here. So we went ahead and put them together, welded some pieces, braces inside there to make them a little more durable, a little stronger. And now these doors really come out really nice. And you see the rubber on the outside, the screws inside. It just makes the whole vehicle. They just look really nice. Now, the seats are over at the upholstery shop. Gustavo's making a seat that is, I can't wait to show you it on the show. It is 3 colors. It's a kind of a medium Steel City gray tweed with a V in red and black. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but when you see it, I think you're really going to love it. And that right there was probably about 10 emails between Dave and I versus ideas. And as what Danny's doing inside here is, this right here is kind of it's a very, very thick kind of like a cardboard paper that we actually make a template for. There's no carpet kit available for a 57 Chevy truck that will fit the things that we've put into it. Figure we have a low car shifter. We have the brake pedal is working on the floor, but even though the master cylinder is on the frame, which is a power brake master cylinder on the frame, and of course with the type of steering, the tilt steering setup in the car, he's making a template. So this all gets put together. That template goes over to Gustavo. He does his stitching and all this crazy stuff, and that's how the carpets get put together and made for a car like this. They turn out really pretty neat. Now you kind of see we got a team of guys working on this with Danny on the inside. Ed's been handling finishing the electrical stuff out. You can see we got the brand new mirrors on the truck. The wing windows are done. And there is never an end to this stuff, guys and gals. Never an end. Because when do you stop spending money? When do you stop buying certain parts? How far do you want to go? And making a nice street driver, this is considered to me better than a street driver. This is kind of a street show car. So a car that can be driven to shows, used and I don't want to say used and abused, but used. To get out there and being needed. And we got chrome mirrors on there. The wing windows look really nice. We had to replace 2 pieces of glass in here on the wing windows. The driver window roller was original. We did not replace the windshield on it, but of course you can see we did put in new rubber that goes around it to seal it in. And originally, I would always consider changing glass, but the cost of glass, that glass was actually in pretty good shape. But you do got to remove it to paint these things proper and paint it right. Now, we painted the inside of it. We painted the dash. We painted everything that pull me over red or ticket me red to get that color. But that's really nice. And again, I always emphasize I love the color on it. And it's lower down in the front a little bit. And I think it has a kind of really good look on it. these wheels. Now, our buddies over at Calderon, they're good friends over with Dave, and they kind of powwowed and talk, and I really wasn't sure what wheel Dave got. And I'm kind of glad he picked that on his own because he did a great job. These look fantastic on the car. The Krager chrome wheels, it gives it that Hot Wheels look, you know, the way, some of these vehicles on the car shows, kids will run up to this thing. Here, they're going to be touching all over. Dave's going to have a problem with this car. The only problem is going to tell people to kind of stand back a little bit, but these look just beautiful on there. And the wheels are a little bit bigger in the back. You got 245s in the back and 235s in the front. Good choice on it. I really like the choice of wheels. The chrome bumper, the grill on the car is stainless. Now, all of them are stainless, and it can take hours and literally hours to clean them. But look at all this stuff here in the front and the way this lines up. It looks pretty good. And I don't want to beat up the truck too bad at what the work was done before, but there was some stuff that really did need a lot of attention to. But they really were on the right track, and they were probably doing this truck way before Dave bought it. Some things were done on a budget, and that's we're all buying project cars that's had things done to them. Let's just face it. But this car has four-wheel disc brakes. There's a GM rear end on it. It has a Ford front clip on the free vehicle. So you have four-wheel disc brakes is a great plus. We put in a power brake booster that is mounted underneath the driver's side seat along the frame. This has a Chevy 350, has air conditioning, which is just a killer plus for this. And we went ahead and put in a really upgraded condenser on, a real heavy-duty condenser on the front. It has kind of a chrome polished compressor on here. You got power steering, you got an alternator, 4-barrel carburetor. And this was the 350 motor I was telling you about. Really strong 350, mild cam, very, very streetable, and I recommend it highly, especially if you're having an automatic transmission, especially if you're having power brakes. And the reason why I say that is because of the vacuum. If you have a real high performance or real lopey cam, power brakes are not going to be working. That's why people go to a Hydro Boost, which we don't need to talk about that. But keep it pretty moderate. It's for a daily driver, a street driver, something to have some fun, have some nice sound. Another conversation was when we were putting the exhaust in the car, where do the exhaust tips go out? But there's so many areas. It's attention to detail when you guys and gals are out building these cars and designing them. Colors, types of nuts and bolts, the type of hardware. Are you painting underneath here red, or are you going to do it in black? There's so many details. It's like building a home on light switches and cabinet and doors. Of course, Susan and I can go crazy over that for cabinets and doors, knobs and whatnot, but it's the same thing building a car. And that's why some people have a lot of different ideas and different touches. And all the touches in here, I think, look really good. Batteries mounted where it should have been. Originally was kind of under the fender well, a choice that I would have never have done. Fortunately, Dave was really cool about where we needed to put it. We put it back to where it should be on the front, very accessible, and that's the way it really was in 1957. But we did this all in black here, all correct nuts and bolts here look really, really nice. The front end, this is a 1957 Chevy step-side truck, and it looks pretty darn good. I'm sure glad that Estelle and myself are back filming again from all the things that's been going on, all the things in the area. The area's starting to back open up again. And maybe this might be a rerun maybe a year from now, and you say, what is he talking about? The pandemic, the COVID-19. And so the nice thing is we're all moving forward. I want to make sure everybody's healthy and stuff, and I'm really blessed that Estelle's out there working with us again. Estelle's one of the best people I know. She turned out to be one of my best friends. And we do the filming for the Car Guy channel. She's always there and puts out a lot of good information. And the other thing, guys and gals, she's turned into a car gal. She's starting to understand this stuff a little better. Hey, God bless everybody. We'll see you all next week.